All right, so sorry, YouTube. I screwed up getting my camera ready. And now I gotta balance it off. Let's see if I can make it better. I got a little ahead of myself because I've been having trouble getting. There we go. Sorry. Getting going with YouTube the last couple of weeks. So I pre-did, but I forgot my camera. So I think that will work. Sorry in advance. And here we are on Facebook. Okay. Okay. So you go, please. You see your daddy? Yeah. Oh, she's something that dog. I'm probably gonna eat that. Yeah, YouTube is weird. Sorry. I keep saying that I'm gonna get this right, but I don't know that I am. So this is kind of where we're at. But it's real, you know, and real yoga is not always pretty. If you've been practicing for a little minute, it's sweaty and gross, right? It's work. Yeah, it's not all Lululemon clothes, and I think there's anything wrong with Lululemon, but you know, sometimes it doesn't come out that way. So, yeah, today I just got kind of an all-around practice. I based it off of sun salutes a little bit, right? So it's sort of threaded through. So remember to just do with that what you will, right? I haven't been doing a ton of just full-on sun salutes, 10 every morning kind of thing, because right now I've got a shoulder thing. So sometimes you have to work around what is going on in your body. Fix this. It's making me a little crazy. Sorry. Let's see. I don't know if this will work or not, but it's better than it was. I think. Yeah, I should do it. That's better. Okay, sorry. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So remember to listen to your body, modify something if you need to, skip something if you need to, throw something different in if that's where you're at. Right? Always, every practice. I'm just the tour guide. You can stop and linger. You can walk past something. So make it yours. Make it your practice is the rule. So feet hip bone distance apart, toes point forward. Spread your toes nice and wide and see if you can really feel the four corners of your feet. Okay? Grounding down into the four corners. So you can feel the legs activate. A little tuck of the tailbone, you feel your belly. So the pelvic floor lifts, the lower belly's in and up. We're tall through our sides. Relax through the shoulders. So the chest lifts, but you're not standing at attention all stiff and weird, right? Just this really beautiful, perfect posture, right? Kind of the head extending to the ceiling. Let your arms just hang, getting a nice stretch through your shoulders. Closing your eyes and just allowing yourself to be here. Noticing what feels good in the body rather than what always feels bad. Right? But paying attention to the things that are not so great this morning. Right? Giving it a little extra TLC. Bringing that awareness to your breath. Allowing that breath to expand. Finding that place that is just beyond comfortable. So a little bit of work. And then keeping everything that you've built here as we begin to move through the body. On the next inhale, we're stretching the arms to the ceiling. Exhaling to bring them back down again. And again, like that, inhale up. Exhale down. One more of those. Back to the top. Interlacing the fingers here. You can rotate the palms toward the ceiling or not. Exhale, tip yourself over to the right. And then inhale back up to the middle. Exhaling to the left. And then back to center. Following the breath side to side like that. Keeping the feet planted, the legs strong, the hips over the ankles as much as you can manage. And the sides of the body long. So you don't feel like you're squashing on the one side. Let's go once more on each side like that. Once you're back to center, exhale, release the arms. And then bringing the hands to the thighs. Right? You can lean if you need to lean, otherwise they're just there to put them somewhere, right? Keeping the belly in and the shoulders back. On the exhale, come forward into a half fold. So nice neutral spine. And then bend the knees and roll back up again. Tuck the tailbone, one vertebra time stacks on top of the other, so you're standing. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, roll up. Take a few flows like that. Next time you're in that half fold, hold that. Leaning on the legs if you need to lean, bend the knees. Forearms to the thighs, leaning if you need to lean, maybe, right? We're gonna take the left hand, sweep it up toward the ceiling, and just allow yourself to open up, right? So we kind of lean over into this right foot, the hips shift over to the left, probably, right? And then coming back to center, and switch. Again, just allowing yourself to lean to the side, opening up as much as you can. And then back to the middle. Taking the legs straight. Again, leaning if you need to be leaning. Keep the shoulders back, belly in. Moving into a deeper fold if you have a deeper fold. Wherever that is. And the hands can stay up on the thighs. They can start to move toward the toes and the floor, really, right? We're not reaching for our toes. You can walk in place, come in and out a little bit, kind of playing with your fold until your hamstrings are happy about it. And then finding a stillness, nice and even on the four corners. Check in with your shoulders again. Make sure your spine isn't rounding. And then from here, we'll take a nice big step back with the right foot into a lunge. As far back as your body will allow you to go, and then just kind of wiggle around into it. Checking in that the knee is over the ankle. And then finding a stillness, right? Find your center. Imagine pulling the legs toward each other. Feel like you're pressing through the right heel, hugging the hips in, and extending out the crown of your head. So if you needed to here, you can be propped up. You can even be supporting on the thigh if that's where you need to be. Right? Listening to your body, deal with what you got. Right? We're gonna step forward back into that fold. Check out how you feel. And then switch sides, taking the left foot back. So the same thing here, just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Find where that left leg needs to be. And then finding that center again. Sweeping the legs toward each other, pressing through the back heel, so that back thigh is lifting. Extending out the crown of the head. And then step forward again. See how you feel about your forward fold now. Hands back to the thighs, bend into the knees into that half chair again. Forearms to the thighs. Sweep the left arm up again like we did earlier, but instead of leaning, see if you can stay centered. So the twist isn't going to be as big, so what? Think about your feet, think about your knees. Are they even? Or is that one popping forward? Your hips. Releasing that side, and then switching. And releasing. Take the legs straight, hang in your fold. And then take the hands to the floor, step back to a down dog. Wiggle and stretch like we always do in this first down dog. And allow yourself to settle in, thinking about the four corners of the hands. Pressing the chest back toward the thighs, keeping the spine nice and neutral, sinking the heels toward the floor. They don't have to touch. Inhale, slide yourself forward, come into plank. And then take it back to a down dog. So with the breath like that, forward and back, inhaling, plank. Exhaling, down dog. One more like that, forward and back. Drop down to the knees and give yourself a little child's pose. We're going to come back to plank again. Slide forward into that plank and hold this time. Did I say down dog? Down dog. And then plank. Dropping to the knees if you need. We're going to bend the elbows nice and tight to the sides and come on down to the belly. And maybe that was nice and controlled and maybe not so much. So we're just going to work with our shoulders here a little bit. Hands next to the side ribs, hugging the elbows in toward the body. Keeping the toes on the floor, tuck the tailbone toward the floor. And then with the breath, On an inhale, roll your shoulders up by your ears, together on your back, down toward your hip bones. Exhale, release that. So nice and easy, just rolling the shoulders to curl the chest away from the floor. See if you can keep it mostly about your shoulders, not your arms so much. For now. One more like that. And then just release for a moment. We're going to work into that just a little bit deeper if and when you're ready. So we start the same, toenails on the floor, tucking the tailbone under, rolling into the shoulders, and then hold. So your chest is lifted without the hands necessarily. The hands just make it bigger, right? So we're going to keep what we have. We're going to pull like we're pulling our belly button to the top of the mat. We're going to triceps. Keeping the neck in line, keeping the elbows in. Maybe begin to press into the arms as well. So you can come up a little higher. And of course, if you like, pressing all the way so the arms are almost straight, but the shoulders are back, tailbone is tucked. And if you're really having fun, lift the thighs up off the floor. And then release what you got. Elbows in. Press into the knees. Imagine lifting your belly away from the floor. So just pulling the belly button toward the spine. Press into the hands so the chest and belly lift off the floor together. Into a plank. And then back to a down dog. Shallow pose. Good Lord. So let's make our way back to down dog. Pressing through the heels, keep everything as you have it, and lift the right leg. Don't worry about high, you want to keep the hips level anyway. Press through your heels, feel that nice extra stretch. And then release. Switching sides. And then releasing. Walking the feet forward, and we're going to come back to our standing fold. And then bring the feet together. Hug the legs in toward each other, even if your legs don't touch. Right? Squeeze them together. And the hands, of course, can come to the thighs or wherever, bending into the knees for a chair. Squeeze in, belly in. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, left hand to the hip, and we're going to pull against it to rotate a little deeper into that twist. So we're keeping the same idea as before, but maybe going a little deeper this time. So keep the legs hugging together though. Keep the knees in line like I was talking about. Maybe bring this right elbow to the outside of the knee. Palms can come together. You can press against the outside of the knee to draw a deeper twist. So think about your feet, think about your hips, extend through your spine. And then release it. Taking a minute in the fold. Well, not an actual minute. So let's go to the second side, bending back into the knees. You decide whether it's your left hand on the hip, on the outside of the knee, and your right hand on the hip to rotate around, or whether you go a little bit deeper with the elbow. Listening to your body. Take your time, breathe. And then release. Taking the feet into our hip bone distance again, right up underneath. Hands up to the thighs again, coming into the half fold where we had started. Belly's in. Lean on the legs if you need to lean. Trying to keep the hips over the ankles and the legs straight. Trying. Shoulders back, right? So you can lean if you need to lean. Maybe take the arms down the sides of the body so your forearms hug your waist. Palm stays down. If that's okay, see about taking the arms out to the sides, adding a little bit of body weight. Watch the knees, watch your back. Extending the arms forward if that's you. So watch, again, to make sure the spine stays tall. Make sure the hips stay over the ankles, the knees are straight, but not locked. Wherever you are, bend into the knees, come into a chair. And then reach for the ceiling and release the arms. Yeah? All right. So let's work with our standing poses with that sun salute. Blended in woven, Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhaling the right foot back into our lunge again. So find your lunge. Sweep the legs toward each other. This time we're going to take the left leg straight-ish. Again, prop if you need to prop. The legs still pull toward each other so the hips are square. The spine is in that neutral place. Take another big breath. Bend back into the knees, step back into a down dog. With an extended, we're going to slide forward, come to a plank. Knees, if you'd like, down to the belly. Inhale, we roll into our shoulders, pull, maybe press with the hands for our cobra, and then release, making your way back to down dog. We're going to step the right foot forward. Work to get your toes all the way up there. Again, that knee and ankle alignment. Sweep the legs toward each other. When you're ready, take the right leg straight. One more breath. And then bending back into the knees, step forward into the fold again. Halfway up on an inhale. Fold back over. All the way up, reaching the arms. Exhaling to release. So we'll inhale, lift the arms. Exhale into the fold. Halfway up, inhale. Left foot back lunge. So that nice big step back. Sweeping the legs toward each other. Leave the left hand where it is. Bring the right hand to the hip and rotate around into our twist here. So we're sweeping the legs toward each other to keep the hips square. We're not leaning like we did at the beginning. Rotating around. Big breaths. Release the twist, step back to down dog. With an inhale, slide forward into your plank. Exhale it to the belly. Inhale for your cobra. Exhale to release, back to down dog. And we'll step forward with the left foot. Toes all the way up there. Find your lunge, and then add your twist. Releasing the twist, stepping forward into the fold, coming halfway up on an inhale, fold back over again, and then reach all the way up, exhale and release. Next, inhale up, exhale, fold, halfway up, and then the right foot back into a lunge. Sweeping the legs toward each other. If you need to drop the back knee, go ahead. We're going to climb up on the left thigh, lifting the upper body. Keep that back heel pressing through. Hang on if you need, or reach the arms. You could take a back bend. You can interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Any variation, of course, here. Let's release it and step back to our down dog. Sliding forward into plank. Dropping down to the belly. Into a cobra. Back to our down dog. Stepping forward with the right foot. Finding your center, your balance. When you're ready, come up. Do what you will with your arms. Let's release it over into the lunge again. Step forward into fold. Halfway up. Fold back over. And then reach all the way up. Exhaling the arms. Couple more. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Halfway up. Left foot back. Find your lunge, drop the back heel, and then make it pretty. Windmill the left arm forward, up and back. Warrior two. Check in, knee over ankle right. Hips are level, shoulders are level. Even here, feel as if you're drawing the legs toward each other. Windmill back around into lunge and step back down dog. Inhale forward into a plank. Exhale down to the belly. Inhale for cobra. And then releasing back to your down dog. Inhale the left foot forward. Find your lunge. Drop the back heel. Sweep the right arm up and over. Warrior two on your second side. Back into your lunge. Stepping forward into the fold. Halfway up. Fold over again. Reach it all the way up. And release. Just a couple more. Inhale the arms. Exhale into your fold. Halfway up. And right foot back lunge. Dropping the back heel. You can windmill the arms again here. We're moving a triangle. So the left leg is straight. Reach the left hand forward over those toes, and then left hand to the leg, right arm to the ceiling-ish, right? If your shoulder bothers you, you can always have your right hand on your hip. Lean on this left leg if you need to, not on the knee, but only if you need to. Release it over into your lunge again. Step back to down dog. Slide forward into a plank. Drop it down. Inhaling for cobra. Exhaling, making your way back to down dog. Stepping your right foot forward. Dropping the back heel, bringing the upper body up, right leg straight. Reach forward over the toes and hinge here. So notice if it's different than your first side and be okay with that, because that's the way it is. Release it back to the lunge. Step forward into fold. Halfway up. And back over. Reach it all the way up. And release. Last one. Inhale the arms. Exhale into your fold. Halfway up. Left foot back. I think. Drop the back heel, open up like we did for our triangle. Right? This time, rotate your upper body, hands to the hips right now. Rotate your upper body forward and fold over this leg. So keeping that back heel down if you can. If it ain't happening, come up on the toes. You can even drop the knee. We're going to keep this right leg straight and then sweep the right arm out toward the ceiling. Release the twist. Step back to your down dog. Slide forward for your plank. Take it down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Left foot forward. So again here, you can stay up on the toes, you can shorten your stance, you can drop the back knee or drop the back heel. Let's leave the hands on the floor, make it easier. Left leg is straight, left arm toward the ceiling. And release. Bend back into the knees, step forward into your fold. Halfway up with an inhale. Fold over again. And then all the way up. Exhaling the arms. All right, good thing I can stand on. I'm gonna, hey. All right. So, standing balance. On your mat, off your mat, near a wall, whatever makes you happy. Standing nice and tall here. Taking all the weight over into the right foot. Lift the left knee. Open. and bring that foot into the inside of your right leg, anywhere but your knee. So toes on the floor if that's where it needs to be. Help it open to the inner thigh if you need. Hug in, stand tall. And then the hands can go centered, behind your back, up overhead, open, closed, whatever makes you happy here. Find a focal point in front of you, not on the floor. And just keep focusing on the four corners of your right foot, even as you wobble on them. We're going to take one more breath on this side. And then draw it back to center and release it all. So the same idea on the second side. Take your time. Lifting the right knee, opening, bringing that foot into wherever it belongs. Hug together. Standing nice and tall, and then adding the arms if that's you. Just another breath over on this side. And then release what you got. Making your way back to the top of the mat if you did step away. Let's go ahead and reach the arms. Take it over into a fold. Back to your down dog. Go ahead and drop on down to the knees and sit back into a child's pose. So let's come to sit up on the heels. And we're going to work with camel, only we're going to do something that we haven't done in a little while. So let's give it a go. All right. Come up to the tops of the knees. And if this variation is not for you, you can always lay down on your back and do bridge. It's the same motion with the body, only it's easier for your knees. Right? This one's going to involve a little bit of balance. So if you do want to be near a wall, that's fine as well. But just kind of see how it goes, right? If you don't get all the pieces, don't worry about it. Work where you work. So let's take the right foot and step forward. So knee over ankle, like always. Right? Hug the legs in to try and stay centered. This back foot can be flat to the floor. You can use maybe a block, right, to make it a little bit easier. You can tuck your toes under. So play with that. Hug in. Bring the left hand, to either the block, your calf, your ankle, or a heel if you can. And still pull the legs toward each other. So it gets a little tricky with the balance sometimes. Right? The right arm's gonna reach up. And then as much as possible, try to stay square, either more toward the front of your mat or toward the ceiling. Right? So sometimes you feel like you're leaning to the left. Yeah, maybe. See if you can square it up to center again. And you can turn this into a big old back bend if you have a big old back bend or not. Right? Again, just working where we are, keeping the chin tucked toward the throat so we're not squishing the cervical vertebrae. Roll back over to that left, come back up to center, and then switch. So prop if you need to prop, cushion your knees, modify it to your back, any of those things. Left foot forward. Hug the legs toward each other. Right hand finds the block, your calf, your shin, not your shin, your ankle, your heel, whatever. Left arm up. Square the hips as much as you can. Take it into a back bend if you're going there. Big full breaths. And then gently roll to the right. Come back up again. Stepping back. Go ahead and sit on your heels for just a quick second. You want a forward bend after a back bend, but not right away. And then make your way to down dog. We're going to drop back down to the knees and bring the legs around front. Coming to a comfortable seat, legs extending out as if we were standing up, toes point up. Feeling even on your pelvis. South through your spine, we're going to reach up. And hinge forward for fold. So start with that lovely posture, right? Shoulders down and back, chest is lifted, hinging forward from the hip. Go where your body allows you to go. And then if you want a little deeper, allow yourself to sink. And if you round a little bit, let it happen for a moment here. Take another big breath. Inhale back up. And release the arms. Bringing the soles of the feet together. We are going to roll back, so make sure you're ready. Hang on to your ankles and draw the heels in toward the groin, sitting nice and tall. We're going to use the elbows at the inner hips, pressing down and hinging forward here. Keep the soles of the feet together. Remember, we want the inner hip to drop, not just the knee. Press on your knees here. Keeping the spine long so the shoulders are back. And then keep hanging on to the ankles. Hinge back up, lean back enough to balance. Keeping the chest lifted. So without taking your feet to the floor, if you can, if your toes touch, it's not the end of the universe, right? Let go. And then we're going to squeeze our knees together. Open the knees and squeeze your feet. Stay balanced if you can. Squeeze your knees. Squeeze your feet. Again. And your feet. One more time. Squeeze your knees. And then your feet. Hang on to your ankles. And roll on down. Keep the soles of the feet together. Take them to the floor. And just let it rest. Your belly, your back, your knees, your shoulders, whatever. Bringing the knees together. We'll draw into the chest. And rock a little bit. Keeping the knees into the chest nice and tight. Let's open the arms out into a T position, and we're just going to drop the legs over to the right. So of course, if you need to modify this last twist, do. Otherwise, just let this be really relaxing. We did some harder twists, right? That required a lot more effort. See if you can make this the reverse. Taking just a couple more breaths over here. And then make your way back to center. Taking it to the left. Again, just letting the legs fall to the side. Resting here as much as you can. Of course, unless you need something different over here. Taking a couple more breaths over on this side. And then we'll make our way back to the middle. Hugging the knees into the chest. Rocking a little. And then bring it in. Give it a nice squeeze, forehead to the knees. Releasing into a full body stretch. Release the stretch. Find Shavasana, whatever that's going to look like. Finding alignment. And then allowing the muscles to relax. Releasing control of the breath. But keep your mind present. So if you need to maybe count breaths, use it. Staying present. And just allowing yourself to rest for a few minutes here. Gently drawing a deep, cleansing breath. And then let that go. Restoring gentle movements of the body. When you're ready, make your way back up to a seated position. Sitting well. Bringing the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. Yay, yoga. Thanks for practicing with me. I realized I was kind of silly to think we'd start a 5-day challenge on a holiday weekend. So I'm going to shoot for next week. I got some things up my sleeve I'd like to try and make happen. But either way, we can always do it even if I don't get my act together. So hopefully next week, I realized I forgot to plug my microphone in today. Sorry. Hopefully that didn't become a problem. So reflect on why we have this holiday and enjoy it. I will see you next week.
Bye. Thanks, Ty.